Yes.
One quick comment, because we are accustomed to calling ourselves lectors, but as we've recently learned, we're not lectors, we are readers of the word or proclaimers of the word. I've always wondered why this book title was so long. And now I know we are proclaimers of the word. And we keep saying readers, but really we're not readers. We want you to be more than readers. We are proclaimers of the word. And there's a difference. And that's one of the things that I'll be talking about. Starting your preparation, I'm on the right page here, yep. You will have a book like that, and unfortunately, because the 2019 year is almost done, there's only 2 left. But when the new liturgical year begins, we'll have all new books, and then you will have your own. And in that book, it shows what the reading is for which date. It shows how to pronounce the words that are new to you. It shows where to place emphasis. It gives you the background of the story, so you're not just reading. You're seeing the reading placed in context, which the congregation often does not get. They just get the reading. So you're getting all the background, so you know what the story is. It allows you to proclaim the word and place the emphasis where it needs to be placed. One of the things that's going to help you do that is prayer. You have to pray. When you get ready to prepare prepare for your reading, you need to pray and ask for God's guidance, ask for the Holy Spirit to lead you through this process of knowing which words need that pronunciation. Ask God to use you as an instrument. You are the instrument that God is using to reach the people in the congregation, and ask God to use you well. So you'll find the reading, you will review the reading, paying particular attention to all the pronunciations, and again, most of them are in there. Yeah, there's probably at least one on each table anyway. And just, you could open up to today and tomorrow. August 30th, 31st, August 31st.
That's
September 1st.
Or it will probably, does it say 31st or does it
It's
say tomorrow?
September 1st.
September
We'll
1st.
say
Oh,
September
September
1st. Is it the 1st? Yeah, we're almost done. Yeah, we're almost done. The new lectures are coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be towards the end.
Not the new lectures, but the new lectures. So the workbooks are coming.
So where does it say A, B, and C?
This book, this entire book is C.
Oh, it is C,
Okay,
okay.
so on the front of year C, because this is year C. Now we'll start
Just see the others.
with the new
Yes.
liturgical year. We'll start with year A, it's a whole different book. You don't have to worry about the A, B, and C in this book. It's giving you the one we're doing this year.
Yes.
If there's a possibility of 2 readings, because sometimes it's up to the priest which reading he wants to do, and both readings will be in there, you need to find out which reading you're preparing for. And you need to contact.
So how do you know? Quick, before Mass, ask Father. Read both, prepare for both.
Or sometimes
I
even
do that.
Gary would
Or
already
Deacon,
email
yeah.
me, the coordinator, like what reading Father wants. Like for example, this coming September 9, 11 Father wants the reading from August 15.
Yeah.
So whoever's reading on that one, okay.
But you'll be notified.
Yeah, you'll be notified.
If you don't get notified, I'm just telling you, if you don't get notified, things will fall through the cracks. Be proactive, please. Okay?
Read it.
Yes.
So is there
Prepare for
someone
both
call
and be ready
ask
for
is
this.
it-
I have here in the handout also the other resources. There's the USCCB, the United States Bishops Conference. You could go to that website. It will show you. The proper
Daily
readings. It also has a section where you could listen to the reading.
Audio.
There's an audio. So again, that's kind of like accent training. You know. Okay, so you know how to pronounce the words. If you hear it, then there's multiple ways to be learned, right? So seeing it, yeah. So it's there. I have some resources also that could help you to make sure you have the right reading when you get there. You're not gonna get lost. Okay.
Okay?
Okay. All right.
So you'll read it, you'll read all the commentary about it. If you're assigned reading 2, I recommend that you read reading 1, read the responsorial psalm, read reading 2, and read the gospel.
Yes.
So that you can place it in context and how it's related to the other readings. And then really focus on the one reading you're going to get. but read through them all to give you that context. So if you up in that slide, or just hit the space bar here. When you're up there, good posture, which is not what I was doing here this time. You've got that huge ambo in front of you, so you can hold on to it if you're nervous. Dolly, when she does the training, she talks about centering yourself and just taking a moment when you stand up there and just stand up straight. Kind of remember to relax your knees a little bit. Don't lock your knees. Relax your knees a little bit. And you're behind this big thing, so I know you're in front of everybody, but you're pretty well hidden. It's just this part. So don't get too nervous. Don't worry too much about the microphone because it's a really good microphone. It looks like it's far away from you, but it will pick up. If you want to speak, I speak a little louder than normal, but I'm not screaming into the microphone. The microphone will pick it up.
Bob, I will suggest though, make sure the microphone is pointing towards your face.
Yeah.
Because if the reader before you was
Right.
maybe a little shorter or a lot taller,
Yeah.
then it's not. So just, right as you're preparing for the reading, just bend the microphone over, and just have it head towards your face.
Right. Yeah.
And then you should be fine with that.
I
But
have a comment. First reader,
Yeah.
you come up there before Mass,
Yes.
you will be the one to
Right.
set it in place, okay? No adjusting it during the Mass. When you're there, step there, you should be ready. My teenage daughter would say toothbrush. No toothbrushing in front of people. Because before we would see lectors doing like this, like that, in front of everybody. I'm doing it like really, exaggerated, but that's how kind of it looks like, okay? So, first reader, before Mass, adjust your mic. Second reader, what about me? I'm taller. You're free to adjust it the moment it's your turn. But first reader, no moving the mic. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk about when you go up there.
I'm watching you.
Oh, I know.
I better.
General. So we'll talk about the proper rhythm, and so another slide where we'll get to the actual specific movement. So this is just really an overview. And then remember that the continued education information, the lector ministry, you should be looking, attend Father Tom's Bible study, do other things on your own to be more familiar with the Word, so that you can not only proclaim it, but hopefully help to live it as well. The resource that we just showed you, which is not on there. In that packet, you'll see preparation. You don't have to use this prayer. This is just one of the possible prayers you can use to prepare for the Word. And then a prayer of Thanksgiving, which I think we're going to be using today.
Yeah.
In the packet, there is a copy. I know you can't read it, but
I
you have the book.
Yeah, you have the book now.
Is that? Oh, you
Yeah, I
took them out.
removed
Okay,
it,
so we
yeah.
took them out of there, but it is in that packet. But that just shows how it's set up, where the reading is actually at. It has certain words bolded, and those are the words that you would emphasize.
Yes.
In the margin there, it shows the pronunciation of those words. So a lot of the things that frighten people about lecturing or proclaiming the Word, this book really solves, as long as you prepare ahead of time. Okay, so we do ask you to arrive to church on a day that you're going to proclaim the Word. Arrive to church at least 15 minutes early. One of the lectors should be lector 1, because you'll be adjusting the microphone as well. Your job is to go up to the ambo before Mass. Remember to bow before you go up on the altar, even if Mass hasn't started. Bow before you go up to the altar. Go up and make sure that the lectionary is open to the correct reading. Most of us will have no problem with that because it's already set from Saturday night. So if you elect for Saturday night, you might have to fumble for where.
I'm a Saturday night, so that's why. Yeah.
So it's usually set, or if the book is closed, the little ribbon is in it on the correct reading. So usually we can find it real easy. There is a number. If you look in this book here, there's a number, lectionary number 126. So if you remember what that number is, if the book is closed, or if you're doing Saturday night, look for number 126 in the book. So it'll get you to the right reading. So then you've got the lectionary up there, and we'll get a chance after this, after this.
Training.
The training.
Yeah, after
Yeah,
this
we'll have
training,
you go
we'll
up
go in
there.
there, and so you can look at it and see what the book looks like. Nice big words, bold letters, so it's easy to follow along. You also want to check, okay, so you're making sure that the lectionary is open in the right spot, you're checking that the microphone's in the right spot, you're also looking for the binder, which when I snuck out, I was looking for the binder, but it's probably sitting in the office somewhere with the new.
Oh, it's in the sacristy.
Oh, is it? Okay. It's a 1/2-inch binder. It's a white 1/2-inch binder. You want to make sure that that's on the shelf under the ambo, that there's not another book on top of it, that it's easy to take out. And you should, especially if you're lector 2, thank you. You may be reading the Prayers of the Faithful, thank you, if Deacon is not there. So then you want to read through the Prayers of the Faithful, especially pay attention to people's names, because you may be praying for certain people.
There is a date in there or what?
There's only going to be one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically
it's a-
just 2 sheets in there. It's
Yeah.
a plastic sleeve. So it's the prayers of the faithful and the other one's announcements.
So it's all-
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's even changed. There's the prayers of the faithfuls in the plastic sleeve, and then normally in the pocket
Oh,
is who we're praying for the different masses.
oh, okay.
Because they're
Good change.
preparing that differently now, so.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Go there.
the names are not in the actual prayer, the page, the prayer.
Okay. So
You
it's
need to look
separate.
over and see who we're praying for that particular mass.
So you want to make sure that binder is accessible, easily accessible. Of course, you'll give your reading after you present it yourself. You look out at the crowd, take a moment, look at them before you say a reading from the, whatever you're reading. And it'll say on the reading. You give your reading. At the end of it, when you're done reading, you have to wait. And our recommendation is a count of 5. It's not 5 seconds. 5 seconds is too long. But just in your head, count to 5 and then say the word of the Lord.
You know why? You know why? Because it lets, yes,
To give them time to think about like what they just.
very good.
Very good.
So it's time to sink in. If you say blah 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 blah, the word of the Lord, thanks be to God. It's like,
Yeah.
right? It's like when you're being fed, you want to be able to have the time to chew. Okay? When I with the seasoned lectors, I tell them, you know, being a lector, it's like feeding the sheep, right? How many times you feed the sheep? Right? Feed the sheep gently. You know, allow time to chew. Because when you're nervous, blah, 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 and the word of the Lord, okay? Right? Enjoy, savor. You're the one holding the spoon. You're feeding these people. They're hungry, you know, they're sad, they're there for something. Okay? So feed them gently. Let it all like sink in. So after the last line, you say the word of the Lord, right? Okay?
And I skipped a big part, of course. We talked about coming to Mass early, making sure that the lectionary is up there, that the binder is easily accessible. And then about 5 or 10 minutes before Mass, and I'm not sure with Father Sylvester how this is going to work, the prayer that we do with the Eucharistic ministers in the narthex
Yeah.
before Mass. So you want to go hang out there, you gather around and we say a prayer sometimes. Well, I don't know how if Father Sylvester will join us for that or not. But if not, if Deacon's there, he leads it, or somebody will lead it. And then you'll go back inside and take your seat. We have the opening prayer, and at the end, and we're all standing at this point, right? So if you're nervous about when do I go up, when do I go up? The opening prayer, you've got the what do you call that?
Gloria.
The Gloria, thank you. And you're all standing. When it's time for the congregation to sit, that's when you go up. And you'll go up and you sit in the left side,
Yes.
the front few pews. The front pew is great, but like if you're with your family or something, then maybe you want to sit one behind. So your family can sit together, that's fine. Sit at the end so you can easily get out. And the two of you will go up. You'll go up to the ambo at the bottom of the stairs, and when you're both are there, then you bow reverently towards the
To the
tabernacle.
altar.
and then you.
Altar.
No, the altar.
Oh,
The altar.
Yeah,
Not
because
the
remember, when
tabernacle.
the mass begins,
Yeah.
our transference of focus is to the altar,
Every-
always to the
always
altar.
yeah.
You'll see even, the priest and the deacon, when they go out, they'll reverence the altar. During the mass, we always focus on the altar, and at the end, when we come down, we're bowing through the altar to the tabernacle. So when you're coming up to proclaim and sitting down,
Yeah.
you can stand where you stand,
Mhm.
but just have your focus at the altar, please. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
I have a note. There's two tables, right? I said the two patties of the hamburger, so one served at the altar, that's the Eucharist, right? And that other one, the other patty is served where you are at, the Word of God, right? That's Jesus too, right? I mean, both are, you know, those are the two tables, okay?
When you go, lecture 1 will go immediately to the ambo, lecture 2 sits in one of the chairs behind the ambo. So then lecture 1 will get the reading, they'll take a seat, usually somebody from the choir will comes up and does the responsorial song. When they go down, then lecture 2 will stand up, do the same thing lecture 1 did, with the reading. It's always good, if you're lecture 1, when you're done with your reading, turn the page before you sit down, so that reading 2 is right there visible for the lecture 2. And then when lecture 2 is finished, they're gonna take the entire lectionary, close it, place it on the shelf underneath, make sure that the binder is on top. That, because the deacon will be grabbing that binder, and we don't want him fumbling.
Yeah, that's the next step,
lectionary, yeah.
yeah.
So you wanna make sure that binder is still available. And then lecture 1 will join you, step down from the altar, turn once again, bow to the altar, and then take your seat. Okay? And then, I think that's pretty much my part, right? Oh, the attire, dress, so that you don't distract from the reading. You're there to proclaim the Word of God, dress appropriately.
I'm sorry, women, but I'm also a woman, okay? Please, nothing too distracting, nothing too sexy, okay? Okay, I mean, it's okay, we celebrate womanhood and stuff, but as I always said, not everything legal is beneficial, okay? Good, me, I'm fine, I'm 40 plus years old, I'm good, whatever you wanna do. But there's some people who are more sensitive, okay? There's more people who are more sensitive, okay? So like, again, my teenage daughter to say, oh, I could see her bat wings while she's doing this. So I'm like, just, for grown-ups, you kind of think, oh, yeah. But then someone, points it out and, it takes the things away, from me, kind of. So, yeah, it's important. Just, we can survive, right? During the mass without, our blings and our, okay? Yeah, so it's not, yeah, I couldn't stress this enough. There's, because this is a free country, but yeah, we want to dress the part as well, okay? We want the word to be the highlight, not us.
And if I could just emphasize on that too, because just as the clergy vest
Yes.
for the mass, you're vesting as well too. So you wear, we used to use the term wear your Sunday best to, when you come to church. Well, especially if you are an active part of the liturgy, you really want to, because remember, Christ is present. So how would you dress if you were going to go meet Jesus? You would dress for that occasion. And so when we serve, we need to always be reflective on what it is we're doing, who we're serving, and who we represent. So that, our dress should be appropriate for that as well as our demeanor and our approach to the liturgy. Because the liturgy of the Word is as important as the liturgy of the Eucharist as it is to the whole Mass. They all have an equal importance in feeding the sheep, feeding the flock, because that's what we're doing, we're feeding. So people will always say at the end, well, I didn't get much out of it. I said, well, what did you put into it? Or did you not come away at least fed from it? And that's really what we're doing. We're recharging ourselves with the liturgy of the Word and the liturgy of the Eucharist, and all of the Mass together comes together to feed us, to prepare us for what we have to do when we go out into the world. So dress appropriately, act appropriately, and receive appropriately, and then be willing to go out and share and represent that into our community.
Well, in the Philippines, because we have this white gown, the lectors, so we wear it over our regular Sunday dress
Mhm.
and a veil. So yeah, so that's nice.
I'm on slide 14 for those of you using the handout. If the deacon is not present and lector 2 is to do the prayers of the faithful, when do you go up? During the creed, the last paragraph of the creed, it says, when I believe in one God, I believe in one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. That's when you slowly make your way up to the ambo, and once again you'll bow, go up, take out the binder, and then open it up, and then after Father gives, I don't know what the name of that prayer is.
He'll do the opening prayer to the prayers of
Introductory
faith.
prayer.
And then you'll go through and you'll read it, and then when you're done, stay there, because then Father still has to do the final closing. When Father's done with that, and everybody's sitting back down again, that's when you go sit down. Okay? Then I think we've already addressed announcements. Announcements have changed. We will not be doing announcements.
Yeah.
And then that last page, I think that's it, right? Our challenges.
Okay, do you have any questions? Yes.
You want to-
Yeah.
So like, what can we expect, like scheduling wise, how often, and when do you know?
So I will, I'll take it. So we prepare our schedule quarterly. So this is very timely because for the next quarter, which is the last quarter. So if you're ready to read, then
October, November, December.
So I'm gonna send you an email, like what are the dates that you are not available to read, so we could schedule you. And we usually, because we usually schedule you at least once a month. Yeah, once a month.
She will email you
Mhm.
when you're gonna be reading ahead of time.
Ahead of time, at least that's 3, like 1 month to 3 months. So we do it quarterly here in the parish, so you would know ahead of time, so you could schedule also your vacation. So for holidays of obligations and other special masses, we also send out an email asking for volunteers.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sophie.
Question.
Sophie.
So
So can we request a certain mass, like my family goes to 10 o'clock
Yes.
mass?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where we will assign.
that's where we will assign you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are like, Yumi used to serve at the 12 o'clock and now she's serving at,
Yeah, I
Fine,
asked to
yeah.
switch
You can
depending
ask.
on.
And then there are electors who do, like, they'll do 5 o'clock, they can either do 5 o'clock mass Saturday or 8
Or 8
o'clock
o'clock.
Sunday morning. They can do either.
Sandy.
Most
does
of
that.
us just pick one. Yeah, Sandy does both.
Yeah.
And if there's no lector who
Yeah.
shows up
Oh,
and you are
Yeah.
there,
Oh,
you
wow.
might,
And you're not
Be asked.
prepared.
because we are lectors, we prepare.
Well, what happens is, during the opening song, you're standing there with the missal open, pretending that you're singing, and you're actually reading the prayer, and you're doing a quick preparation. It does happen, it doesn't happen often.
yeah.
That's why there's that big little branch.
Last Saturday,
There's
neither
no,
one of the lectors
who
were
are the
there.
lectors last Saturday?
I don't know, but neither one was there.
Oh.
And so Sherry and Miguel got there. Sherry, okay, there's a lot of hard words in this first reading. You be the lector.
That's why you're early.
That's
She
why
did
you have to be
beautifully.
early.
That's why you have to be
And,
early.
And you would
And then
know,
Ed did the second.
yeah, and you
Ed
would
did the
know
second.
if there's no lector, because we are usually assigned to sit on the first pew near
Right, there was no.
near the
If you're
choir.
facing
So,
the,
yeah.
the altar, you're on the leftmost
Left.
side.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll show you later. We're all gonna go to the
Yeah.
church, so you will see, see, feel, hear, smell, whatever. There, what you're gonna do, okay? So just be prepared
Yeah.
to be called on, even if you were not scheduled. Yeah, that
Usually
has
happens.
happened to so many of us on so many occasions already.
Even different mass. Because one time, I was already reading at the time of that mass, and it just so happened that we have an activity that we have to be there for the 12 o'clock mass, but not really there, just outside, and then there's no lector, so somebody, Tom, there's no, so like, okay, so just be ready. Yeah, because especially if people already knows that you're a lector, they would like
I mean, if you had an emergency and you were ill,
Right.
would we call you?
Yeah, I'll give you I have here the list of the lectors and the masses that they serve. So just in case if you need like a substitution or trade places with, I don't recommend substitution, I recommend trade places because I want you to read at least once a month. So if you can trade places. So we'll give you the schedules and the names of the lectors. And then,
Please don't call me first, because my last name is Ablang. Always the one.
No, and you would know because there's like a mass times that they serve. So if you serve at the 10 o'clock mass, don't call the 5 o'clock lector, okay?
Yeah, call the
So
ones that
call the
attend the
ones.
mass.
With you.
Okay, or, you know, what I do, I have a great like lector buddy, you know, so that's my go-to person. So like at 5 o'clock, I always, these couple, they always go there. So it's like, oh, okay. So I have myself covered, you know, it's, you know, I have friends in this mass, so I'm pretty good, okay? So that gives you that confidence, okay, that, okay, I can't serve today, and I'm pretty sure I'll get someone. Versus, you know, it's already 9, I'm reading at 8 o'clock, I can't find anyone, and then you're gonna email her?
That's too late, I don't like that.
How will she find people? You know what I mean? So just be ahead, okay?
And regular meetings, okay, so.
Call the audience.
Okay, so for regular meetings, we hope to meet twice a year to address both the past and the future quarters to capture ministry concerns, adjustments and initiatives for improvement. And then refresher course for seasoned readers will also be done once a year. And training for new readers will be done once a year, so we have one now. And spiritual nourishment or formation for both seasoned and new lectors or readers will be done once a year. But since our parish is now conducting spiritual, talks, so we just require the readers to attend one. Right now we have Father Tom Bonacci, so if you could attend that one. So I think, so save the date before we go to September 2 Monday is a Labor Day. We have Mass at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then September 11 Wednesday, the International Pilgrim Virgin Statue of Our Lady of Fatima will be visiting our parish from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. or maybe beyond that, midnight. So we will need a lot of help and support in making this a wonderful event for our parish. So please check your emails for more details. And October 13th is our fall festival. So if you haven't signed up to be a volunteer, please let us know.
One more mechanical thing we missed. And I know this is true for 12 o'clock mass, and I think it's true for the early masses. In the narthex, on the counter, the list of the servers,
Yes.
don't we check in there?
Yeah, we check.
Because I know we do it 12. Okay, so this is
We'll
also
go
how
there.
you know if the lectors are there, because they may not be sitting, if you're going in to see if the lectors are there, they may not be sitting there, they may be somewhere else in the building. When you walk into the narthex, where the altar servers room is, there's a counter right next to that, and there's a list of Eucharistic minister, altar servers, and lectors.
You check in.
Check in.
Check in.
Initials right by your name.
It's when
We'll
you
show you
enter
when we walk
in the
over.
narthex, yeah, it's on the left side, where I think it's the Virgin Mary statue. Yeah, it's the Virgin Mary statue. Okay, before you leave, yeah, this is an article that I wrote, and it should have, something in YouTube. If you could go to YouTube. So if you want like a refresher, it's here, okay?
Okay. And so,
Most of the things we
so
talked
we will have
about.
our workshop, short workshop when we go there. So this is some of the readings that we want you to read, and some of the seasoned lectors will critique you.
Oh, yeah,
So, yeah.
that's the next
For you,
part of the
that's the
agenda.
next part of the-
Go there, and then you're gonna read, practice, and then practice first, read, and then people will critique you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.